Hello, so I'm recording this at 2 o'clock in the morning after seeing The Marvels. And I have feelings about this movie. I think it's not the worst movie I've ever seen in a long time, but it's definitely up there in the my top 10 sort of not great Marvel movies. It feels very superfluous, and that's what struck me throughout. It just felt like the ending for a television show. It felt like the ending, the post-credit scene of a TV show. And we'll get to the post-credit scene, and I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I came out of it, and we sat there, and my friend and her daughter and so on, and we watched it, and my friend's little girl, who is a superhero nerd, checked out of the movie halfway through. She was not interested in the movie. It's a very short movie. I think it's the shortest movie in the MCU, but even at its runtime, it felt too long. There's been a lot of criticism. A lot of people, Screen Rant, for example, mostly criticized most of the characters in the film lack of cohesion, which I do agree with. I think there are some really good actors in this movie, minus Brie Larson, who are completely underused and underutilized. Who the director didn't know what they were doing. Like, these are not the best performances I've seen from a lot of the people. But the lack of cohesion is a thing. The storytelling is very messy in this movie. You do kind of come out of it like the Michael Bay Transformers movies. They're trying to do those deep moments, but they just feel there to fill a runtime. I know there's been a lot of reshoots, and I know this was shot simultaneously with a couple of others, but it's just not a great film. It's a lot of people said mixed or average, and average is the appropriate word for it. I kind of came out of it thinking I don't remember the storyline, and underutilizing some good actors, minus Brie Larson, it just felt pointless. And it felt like it shouldn't really be there. It felt as if I was watching a TV movie, like, the Miss Marvel thing. It felt like an ending to that rather than its own thing. And when you've got a TV show that not a lot of people watched, and I will recommend this, if you go and watch this movie, go onto the wiki page and read up on what happened. Because it's so dependent on that stuff for a lot of the character setup and a lot of the story beats. And I get into linking stuff, but yeah. I think one of the big issues, we have a lot of Marvel fatigue. I think people are getting bored with it. And I think people just want a movie. They just want a good superhero movie. And it was interesting because the side characters were more interesting than the main character, but it tied so much into television shows that will never get released on DVD. I don't know, it just felt like a tropey, generic action movie. It didn't have much else going for it. I think if you want to create something, if you want to create a movie on this level, I think they need to remember that you need good storytelling, and lack of cohesion and the weird writing and the weird editing suffers. Someone, I think it was Kevin Feige, compared Miss Marvel to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. No, not even close. It just felt as if Marvel were trying everything they can, and I think they tried to go back to the original formula of the MCU with this. But their recent films haven't done very well. And that's what sucks. Now, I'm going to say some good things here and there. That some of the special effects in this movie are spectacular. Some are definitely not so good. But some of them are really spectacular. I was actually surprised they have stepped up their game. Also, there's music from 20th Century Fox's X-Men 2 and Days of Future Past in this film. I'm not going to give away the end credits scene, but I think you probably know it already. Can we just say that they're trying to bring back some audience? I do love the X-Men movies, even if they failed at trying to tell the Dark Phoenix saga, which is one of my favourite comic books. There were so many things they could have done. I felt like this film needed more fleshing out. It tried to deliver character moments, but it tried to put them in there, and it broke up the pacing and the momentum of the film. It was just kind of a generic superhero movie. It didn't feel particularly strong. It didn't do much. And I think... I don't know. I think Marvel need to rethink, and I think they're a bit desperate right now. I think with them rumored to be rebooting the MCU in 25, I think that's official at this point. I haven't looked, because I don't follow it. I just hear things on the grapevine. And bringing back actors for the next Avengers movie, rumored. I feel like there's so many things they could do. Yeah. I mean, the New York Post gave the film a negative review. It called it bland, annoying, and misused. And that's another good description. Like, I come out of it thinking, it's a very pretty, very bland movie. It's the Canada of movies. It's the Toronto of movies. And I'm sorry to my Canadian viewers. I'm joking. Note the sarcasm. But it's Marge Simpson walking into Canada. It's so bland. It's that vibe. And I don't know how I felt about it. I think the storytelling style didn't work particularly well, and I think that goes to how the film is edited together. Like, you could reorder a lot of the scenes and a lot of the character building moments in this film, and it would be a lot better. I think it's the worst MCU movie I've seen in a long time, and yeah, it kind of shows. I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder was a disaster. But this is so dependent on the 30-something movies that came before. It's so dependent on a TV series. It's so dependent on all the other stuff to tell its story and build its characters that it forgets that it has to be a standalone movie. Although, I will say this, Samuel L. Jackson, I adore him. Is he a great actor? No. Is he playing Samuel L. Jackson in this? Yes. Let's be honest. He does win Nick Fury in the best way possible. I would give this film like 4 out of 10 if I was scoring it that way. It's not even that fun. And the fact that there were kids who were bored watching it really tells me what you need to know, don't you? And it's, again, being marketed on post-credit scenes and all of this stuff, and it just feels too much like a continuation of a TV series. And maybe they should have chopped this up and turned it into like a 3-episode mini-series or something, or a 2-episode, because I think that would work better. It doesn't have much breathing room, and it's just tropey and annoying. And that's the best description. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day.